Hello everyone, very good evening to one and all. I hope that everybody is doing absolutely great and must be waiting for the session today. So guys, we have started here a new series that is the art and culture for the UPSC civil services examination. So here in this series, we are going to discuss the latest trends in art and culture. We will also try to understand the exact and the best approach for covering this particular subject. Not only that, we will also try to see that what should be your source of reference for this subject and how is this particular series going to help the aspirants in acing their preparation for the subject of art and culture. But prior to that, it is my humble request to all of you that guys do not forget to share this class with your friends, because this is absolutely essential that this session should reach to the more and more number of people. And why so? Because in this we are going to discuss very concisely about the best approach as per the latest trends in the civil services examination for the art and culture. So let's get started. And as you can see here, first of all, let me tell you a very important thing, that guys, in this session, not just the strategy will be discussed, but also we will have few insightful discussions about how should be your approach for this examination. This approach can be used for not just art and culture, but also for other subjects as well. Okay, so I hope that now it is visible to all of you. I think there is some issue in the board itself, right? So now I hope the board should work fine. Okay. All right. So first of all, before we could proceed, let me just inform you about our P2I batches, which are going to start from 23rd of August and available in the English as well as in Hindi. And guys, remember that today is the 22nd. So only tomorrow is left for yourself to get enrolled. So we have very less time. So do not delay it further. And we will discuss about it more in the end of the session. Now let us move to the topic. So why am I calling the art and culture a riddle? Okay. First of all, it has got few basic points. Why it is a riddle? Because it has got a very vast syllabus. It has got a very vast syllabus. As you can see, you can understand by the thickness. Okay, by the thickness of the book. Usually we refer the books like Nitin Singhania, or we refer the books like the NCERT of fine arts, or we refer the books like StudyIQ's art and culture. So these books, they all are very thick books. They have plenty of information, right? And that means it includes the ancient plus medieval plus regional, okay, and different types of art and culture. For example, if you just look at the art and culture, guys, art and culture, that includes so many things. For example, the visual arts are there. Okay, then performing arts are there. All right. If we talk about the visual arts, we have the sculpture, right? We have the paintings, okay? We have the paintings, sculptures, and also we have the different types of paintings. Some of them are the mural paintings, some of them are the miniature paintings, some of them are the portrait paintings, okay? So these all together are called as the classical paintings. Whereas another group, we have the folk paintings. Right? So in the visual art, we have the sculpture, painting, construction of the various artifacts, handicrafts, etc. Then we have the performing arts, which include the dance, music, theater, okay, puppetry, martial arts, okay. So many things are there. So many things are there. Apart from that, we also have the literature. We also have the literature. If you look at the questions asked in UPSC, you will find that there are consistent questions being asked on the topics of the authors and their works, literature and their writers. They have continuously been asking such questions. Even this year also, you might have seen in the prelims examination that there were such questions. Okay, so literature is there. All right, in literature also we have the ancient. Ancient literature includes the Sanskrit literature, Pali and Prakrit literature. Okay, and then we have the regional literature like Tamil, Kannada, etc. Here in the medieval literature as well, we have the Bhakti literature, right? We have the playwrights, okay, playwrights, etc., etc. So there are a lot of things to be covered. I hope that you got the clear idea that not just the syllabus is very vast, but that is also extremely diverse in the nature. Extremely diverse in the nature. I need not to tell anybody, those who are watching the session, I think if they should go through the syllabus, they can understand that art and culture is a very, very extensive subject to be covered. Very vast and very diverse. The question can be asked in a same question. For example, look at this one. In the very same question, Besnagar, Bhaja and Sittanavasal, okay, 3 different places. They are known for the different types of cave shrines. Okay, different types of cave shrines. Right, everyone? So we can say that in the same question, they can put the point on the architecture. They can put the point on paintings, and they can put the point on the sculpture. Okay, you have to answer that question. For example, there was a question probably in 2018, I think, 2019 that was. In that particular question, there were 3 different places. One was famous for the mural painting. Second one, famous for the rock cut caves. And the third one, famous as the ancient site of a city. Now that what makes the art and culture very, very dicey and diverse. Okay, and at the same time, it is also extremely factual in the nature. Try to understand the nature of fact that until and unless you are not aware that Madhubani art is connected from which particular place, until and unless you are not aware about the Worli art is connected from which particular place, or you don't know about the dance called as Thang Ta, that is martial art also. So if you don't know about the martial art called as Sarit Sarak or Lai Haraoba, if you have not heard these type of terms, I am very sure many of you might not have heard these terms ever. But yes, all of these have been asked in the UPSC prelims examination. So what can we say? We can say that this particular subject is extremely important, but at the same time it is also a little bit boring for some people. I should not say that, because I am just going to teach that subject, but it is my promise that if you guys will be regular, if you guys will be attentive at the time, this regularity and attentiveness that will ensure that you will never feel a moment in boredom, and at the same time you will also learn through the pictures and photographs and through the different techniques of the memory, so that if the questions are coming in the prelims examination, you can easily solve those questions, right? Because at the same time I can say that there are 2 types of students. The one, those who like this subject, art and culture. The other, whose number is of course more, who don't like the subject art and culture. But at the same time, why should we study and what should be our approach towards art and culture? So let me tell you one thing. Why should we study our art and culture? Because most of you might be watching the shorts etc. on YouTube, isn't it? Shorts etc. on the YouTube. Whenever you come across an information that in our country there is a 1,000-year-old statue that looks very radiant, that is very good example of the scientific advancement in our country. Look at the shine of the Ashokan pillar that is still reflecting the light. Then we feel very much proud about our culture. But when it comes to study the serious culture, when it comes to know the reality, know the hard work behind that cultural achievement, then you guys are simply trying to run away from that point, because nobody wants to study, nobody wants to learn. Everybody wants to just give the pleasure to the eyes and then leave the place. So if you also are looking for something like that, then guys, this is not going to happen, because you cannot simply enjoy watching that without learning it. Because UPSC doesn't give the marks for enjoying, right? UPSC gives the mark when you learn it and when you are able to answer the question. So tell me in the comment box that what exactly do you aspire? Do you just aspire to become surprised, okay, oh, such a great achievement in our country, only that much? Or you really want to become able to answer a question which is asked in the examination? If your choice is the second one, then this series is going to be extremely useful for all of you. Even if your choice is the first one, like that means you are just a casual watcher, you do not have to appear in the examination and etc., then also this series is going to be very much important for all of you. Now let me tell you that this subject of art and culture will be having the different approach for the prelims purpose, where the nature of questions and approach that should be learning the factual details. If you think that without learning the facts you can simply go through the prelims examination and make those questions correctly, it is not possible. Very simple, it is not possible. Okay. However, if you are thinking that you will learn each and every fact and then you will try to solve the prelims question, again I am telling you that it is also not possible to learn each and every fact. Why? That is beyond our capacity. We do not have all the time in the world to learn only art and culture. Let me give you a brief idea. In the prelims examination 2022 and 2023, okay, 2023, approximately 4 to 6 questions, okay, 4 to 6 questions in both the years on an average, they were asked from the art and culture. Now let me tell you that if you are going to study for the 4 to 6 questions, right, so total 1 year time period you have, in which you have to cover approximately 6 to 7 subjects, all right, and that means you do not get the time of more than 2 months. Even if you are including the basic studies, including the preparation for that, including the revision and solving the mock test, everything, if you have given yourself 1 year's time, then you cannot give more than 2 or 2.5 months for one subject. That is the very simple math. Every candidate should keep that in the mind. Okay, and guys, this is why I'm telling you that we should study the art and culture as the part of the history or as the continuation of the history, which we are going to do here in this session, right? So here let me tell you, if you are studying for the 4 to 6 questions, then don't give more than 40 days. Okay, 40 days Remember that, make it a rule for you. Remember that and make it a rule for you. Do not give more than 40 days to cover entire preparation of your art and culture portion. Okay, so that means you need to have a very consolidated approach to study for the art and culture. So we should get an idea that how to read, how to study for the art and culture. Now somebody who is watching this session, this is going to greatly benefit all those people, because this is not only for art and culture, this is the answer to the hundreds of questions that I get daily, that sir, which subject should I read, how should I read this history, how should I read the polity, how should I read the culture. Read, right, just read any subject, study any subject, but follow this basic strategy. This should give you the clear-cut edge, the clear-cut advantage over your competitors. So that means those who are not watching it, they are going to miss something very, very important, right? So it depends upon you, that if you really want to, make it a great fight, you should share this session with your friends as well. And guys, those who have not hit the like button, kindly do hit the like button as soon, right? So here, how to read? The first question. Let me tell you that you should be reading, right, in the 4 to 5 stages. As someone said to me that, sir, I should read that particular book in how many days? My answer is that your first reading, that should never be, remember these points, that your first reading should not be intended to make any notes or to revise it or to remember it or to do anything else. If you are reading any particular book or any particular subject for the very first time, don't expect that this subject will be automatically absorbed into your mind. Humanly, not possible. Respect your limits, man. Respect your reality. If you are not a topper throughout the school, college and your academics, you cannot expect that you will just go through any subject once and that will be automatically understood. It does not happen. So, in the first reading, remember this line, it is very, very important. In the first reading, my dear, you should be only reading the book. Just read the book from page to page. Start with the index page. Okay, the reading of the book should start with the index page. Okay, and why is that important? Suppose if I am taking a session here, if I would have told you in the very first page that which all things I am going to cover for you, don't you think that it would have been more convenient for you? Right? Every student can understand that. Similarly, when the book is telling to you, for example, if you go through the old NCERT of R.S. Sharma, then first stage that you should start with, that is, open the glossary or the index and just read the name of the chapter. You will get an idea that which all dynasties are covered, which all topics are covered in that particular chapter, from what time to what time, okay, from which year to which year a particular dynasty is spanned. So that is basically going to give you the very much essential basic overview that many students, they just keep asking in the class that, sir, what is the time period of the Pallava dynasty? What is the time period of Chalukya dynasty? Remember, this is the silliest thing a person can ask, because if the person is reading the history subject or the culture subject, if that person might have gone through the index of the basic books, NCERTs, that question would have been answered even before you had started studying the book. That is what I am trying to say. Start reading the book, but begin with the index. And then follow the sequence of the book. But let me also tell you a very, very important thing, guys. never ever start reading the standard books directly. First of all, it is very, very essential to go through the basic NCERTs. Go through the basic NCERTs. Then only you can form the storyline of the entire subject. And this is why you will observe those who are curious and sincere students, they might have observed that in the NCERT, the focus on the date, the focus on the event, the focus on the facts is not very deep. The facts are very minimal, the dates are very, you can say reasonable. They are very much in the range, not accurate, but it is said that 2000 years ago, or it is said like 19th century or mid of the 20th century. This type of pattern is used in the NCERTs. Why? Because they don't want you to become stuck on the particular date, particular point. That is not the purpose of reading the basic book. The basic book should be read for making the storyline. For example, if you will go through the 11th class NCERT of Fine Arts, then you will have the basic idea that, okay, what is the sequence of the development of art and architecture in India. You will realize that first of all, the cave architecture developed. After that, the monolithic architecture developed. After that, the freestyle or the free structure architecture developed. After that, it started becoming complicated, and then the mixture of 2 or 3 different styles that started, and after that we entered into the modern style. That is the sequence you will get only after reading the NCERTs or the basic books. Now my dear, when you have covered the basic details or you have taken the overview of the entire subject, then you should be going to the second stage. Some of the students, they ask that, sir, how to make the NCERT notes? Sir, how to make the notes after covering the NCERT of 6th to 10th, 11th, 12th? My simple answer is that don't make notes for NCERT. Not required. After first reading, especially you are reading for the first time and you are reading the NCERT, never jump to make any notes. That is the 100% foolproof solution to your problem. Never jump on making the notes directly. Then what do you have to do? After finishing the NCERT, you have to follow the standard book, which contains little bit more in-depth knowledge, in-depth sequencing, in-depth factual data. Okay? And then what do you have to do? Do not study the standard book page to page. Okay? It is not required, please. That will take a lot of time and nobody does that. For that, you just have to insert the basic fact. Follow the topics given in the basic book. Follow the topics given in the basic book. Search for that topic in the standard book. Search for that topic in the internet. Find that topic in my videos or in the videos that you love to watch. And then try to note down those extra informations that you are going to get. And then the third stage, that should be, now check the previous year questions and now try to solve those questions with the help of the extra information, with the help of your basic knowledge and with the help of the internet. Howsoever you can solve those questions, you have to proceed with solving those. Okay? So now we have done the 3 stages of reading. Now it sounds very hectic, isn't it? It sounds very exhaustive. Yeah, come on, I am tired, like that. Remember it, you will be tired. You will be tired because the person who is not getting tired is actually not preparing for UPSC examination. Remember that. Those who are here just for the sake of, making their neighbors jealous, right? They cannot clear the examination, remember that. So those who are here for some serious preparation, they can definitely clear this examination, right? So here, previous year questions will be helping you in order to decide the area of focus. that on which particular topic. For example, let me just give you an example. The terms, okay, the terms related to the socio-economic practices or classes or achievements or professions, okay, these type of things, they are being continuously asked in the examination. For example, if you see, there was a question called as Arghat, the meaning of Arghat, or the meaning of Dirghul, okay, Dirghul and Tadag, okay, and Tadag, the meaning of Aurang, okay, the meaning of okay, Dubashi. Guys, these type of terminologies are being asked in the examination. Remember that. What does it indicate? It indicates that you need to be very much specific about the terminologies which are being used in the socio-cultural life during the different historical periods. That tells very clearly that the NCR, that particularly the UPSC is interested that the students or the aspirants, they should be aware about the ground reality of the culture of India, of the history of India, when they are going to appear in the examination. For those who don't know, Aurang basically is the inventory, the storehouse, right? Dubashi, basically the bilingual person, and Arghat, this is the old machine of irrigation, the system of irrigation. Dirghul and the Tadag, these two are basically the name of the water ponds, okay, water ponds or simply ponds, okay, the ponds. So that is how you get to see, remember, so many facts, okay. Now, what is the fourth stage? Now you have to, now this is the very, very important stage, my dear. This is the beginning of the notes making, beginning of the understanding of the subject, beginning of the interlinking of the subject. Now you are going to become the subject matter expert, and now you are going to become the proper candidate for appearing the examination. Those students who cannot interlink, who cannot interconnect, they cannot clear the examination. Remember that. For example, just have a look on this particular question, okay. Suppose that there is a question, in which, let us understand, there is a question on the basis of the statement. The first statement which says that the monolithic architecture started during the 2nd, 3rd century BC. The second statement that says that the earliest monolithic sculptures were prevalent in the areas of mid-Gangetic Valley, Now, pay attention very carefully. The first statement says that monolithic sculptures started to develop around the 2nd, 3rd century BC, which might be true, might not be true, because that is a simple fact. But second statement, that can be solved with the help of logic. When someone says that the monolithic structure started to emerge at the earliest time in the mid-Gangetic Valley, is it even possible? Mid-Gangetic Valley, that is famous for the alluvial plains. Why will that particular place support the beginning of stone sculpture? Are you having the understanding of this point? I hope that the proper way of thinking that will develop when you will start breaking down and interconnecting the different concepts from the different chapters. Now that is my work. To make you capable of doing the fourth and the fifth stage by yourself. Okay, so guys, the first three stages that I will be doing for you, and the last two stages now that you will have to do after going through my lectures here, right everyone? So now the biggest question arrives that suppose if you are attending this lecture regularly today, tomorrow and day after, what should be your source for attending the lecture? The source should be only my class video, only my live session. However, after the video is over, after the class is over, then what should be the source that you should obtain? This should be your source, my dear. This is the book called An Introduction to the Indian Art. The book called as the Introduction to the Indian Art. This is the book which should be the first reading for every student in my class. The first reading for art and culture. First reading for art and culture. This is class 11th. Okay, everybody, class 11th NCERT, new NCERT for art and culture. Okay, for art and culture, part 1. Once you are done with this particular book, then you should proceed with the second book, that is class 12th Art and Culture NCERT. Okay, Art and Culture NCERT, part 2. Okay, everyone. So these two books should be your basic books, right? Your basic books for the preparation of art and culture from the very beginning. And once you are done with the basic books, then you can go for the standard book, that is the StudyIQ's Art and Culture. Here you will be having the lots and lots of factual details, images, pictures, tables, graphs and so much of details which will enrich your preparation, my dear. Okay, so these should be the sources, and on the basis of your understanding, hopefully you will be able to solve these type of questions where you can see the medieval Indian temple that is representing the social life. Look at the interlinking, look at the interconnection. Temple architecture connected with the social life. Now this is the purpose of your studies. This is the purpose of my lecture, right? So that is going to be very much helpful for all of you. Got it, everyone? So I hope that this session is extremely useful for all of you. Do not forget to share this session with your friends also, dear. And remember that last one day is left in order to get yourself enrolled for our P2I batches in case you are seriously looking for the one-stop solution. The more details about it, you can download our application, you can go to the selected course, and if you want to enroll, my dear, you can use this code ASR Live to get the maximum discount, and this is going to be the least price that you are going to pay. Okay, so that's all in my session. And in case if you want this PPT or you want to connect with me, then these are the details where you can connect with me personally, or you can subscribe to my Telegram channel. Thank you so much for watching it. Let's meet tomorrow in the first class of art and culture. Till then, take care everyone. Bye bye and Jai Hind.